Hey guys, Shelley Esler from Loving Energy Transformations. I was having trouble. I usually go through my website, Loving Energy Transformations, and for some reason I can't get a live video, so we're doing this just a little bit differently. I'm going to wait a few minutes just till people start to come on, and I'm actually going to pass the phone over to my husband in a few minutes so that he can film this. And hey, Rita, I was really having trouble getting on here. I was starting to panic. And at any rate, I'm just going to give it a couple of minutes, and I am going to do a backup recording here. So I am going to get that started before we get going. All right, let's see here. Okay. So again, you guys, this is Shelley Esler, and I am going to pass the phone over to my husband so we can get going with this. So give me just a second. Turn around. Here. Hang on, guys. My husband's new to this, so I'm kind of having to guide him a little bit here. And actually, you know what? We're not. I'm just going to do this myself. It's going to be a lot easier that way. That way I can see who's coming on. Christy, welcome. And, oh, you guys, what a process this is. And thank you so much for joining me. This is how to navigate yourself through grief. And even though I'm talking about grief tonight, this applies literally to any kind of suffering that's going on in your life. And I will be giving you tools and techniques to help. And I'm going to tell you something very honest. As of 9 o'clock this morning, I was not sure how I was going to do the call and maybe going to have to cancel it because I woke up still inside. Hey, Corinne, my teacher who got me started. Love you. So as of 9 o'clock this morning, I didn't know if I could do the call, because I was still in the midst of grief. And I'm like, how can I teach somebody how to navigate through grief when they're still in it and they haven't gotten themselves out of it? But wait until you hear the process that I have gone through. I can't even begin to tell you how excited I am to, number one, be able to help you all and to let you know my story and what happened. As of Monday morning, we had to let my little Yorkie, who literally was the love of my life, he was my constant companion for almost 13 years. We had to set him free Monday. And all day Monday and all day Tuesday, I could not be in the house. I had such gut-wrenching, overwhelming grief. Literally, you guys, the worst pain that I think I have ever experienced. Now, I've put a lot of animals down, but I always had my boys. My boys are grown out of the house, and these dogs are my babies. And what has transpired just boggles my mind, how the angels work, you guys. As of 11 o'clock this afternoon, I had a transformation and a breakthrough like you can't even imagine. Now, excuse my voice. Let me tell you what happened. Because I cried so much, my sinus passages, and excuse me moving the phone here, my sinus passages literally swelled shut. Ended up with the worst sinus infection you can imagine. Still kind of coughing, losing my voice. Now, it's not just that, but because I have just gone to a new level and a higher vibration, the body's got to catch up. So I got a lot of clearing going on. So I've got water by my side. Hopefully my voice will last. But I want to fill you in on what happened and give you the tools and techniques that have really helped. But first of all, what you have to realize is that this is a process, you guys, and a true process. Everybody's journey will be different. Everybody's processing will be different. Everybody deals with grief in a different way. You have to treat yourself with kindness, you guys. I caught myself kind of in this mind war of, you're a healer. You're spiritual. Why don't you understand this process? What is wrong with you? You know he's infinite. You know he's eternal. You know we're one. You know you're connected. But it was not having that physical presence, not having that body to hold on to that I needed. And I had talked to Boom long and hard. This has been a 4-month process, you guys. And I have been vulnerable. I have shared to my group what I'm going through in order to help them and to learn the tools and the techniques and the things that do. And literally, you guys, I couldn't have done this without the support of them, the support of my teacher, and the support of all of my classmates, and more importantly, God and Boomy. But it took Boomy dying and until 11 o'clock today to understand all of this. So, to start, I talked to Boom a lot. And Monday, Tuesday was severe grieving. I kept hearing that he's right here. So I would hear his voice. But of course, that little doubt crept in. Is this what I'm just wanting to hear? And I got into the shower Wednesday morning. And I started talking to him. I was in tears. And I asked him, did I kill you? What was wrong with you? Why didn't the vets know what was wrong? Why couldn't we help you? And his response was, it doesn't matter what happened to me. My job was done. God called me home. And when he calls, you have to go. You have to answer the call. He said, I didn't want to leave you any more than you wanted to leave me. And I then said, so, do you know where you're going next and what you will be doing? And he's like, I don't know. And I don't know if I'll be able to tell you. And I said, so the only request I have is, if you come back to me, which I would love, but I understand you may not want to, and God may have different plans, and I totally get that. But how, if you do come back, I need to know who you are and where you're at. Then I went in to find out why we had my other Yorkie, because he's so different. I don't have the connection with him. He's the only dog I've ever had that doesn't sleep with me. You call him, he runs the other way, doesn't like to be held. And Boom's response was, if he were just like me, you would never have gone through this process. Hey, Ruth, you would not have learned to deal with the grief. What I always did, you guys, the minute I lost an animal, I had to have a replacement within a week. I had to suppress and not feel the pain. I would do anything to avoid that torture. So it's not that I forgot my animal, but I had something to hold on to pay attention to, and to ignore the suffering. And I'm talking, this is years of suppressing. So he said, the reason Fluff is the exact opposite is you would not have learned your lesson. And he said, it took me leaving for you to elevate to a new level, which I still didn't get because I'm still not getting the awareness. And he said, not only that, but I have raised in vibration to a new level. And I'm still teaching Fluff, and now you are to continue teaching. I'm like, but how do I do that? What am I supposed to do with him? And he said, you don't do anything. You just be you. You love him, and you guys will be connecting soul to soul. So that gave me a lot more understanding with that. So that was kind of the end of it. Yesterday was a good day, but something clicked in me that I needed that little bit of extra validation. And I reached out to an animal communicator. And funny how that all happened. You know how name clicked up on Facebook. I went into my intuition, listened to my guidance, zeroed in on a name, connected with her. She gave me literally every validation that I needed. But I still hadn't had my breakthrough. So this morning I get up, and Corinne, if you're still there, I had my reading from someone that Corinne had us work with the tarot reading. And I've stayed in touch with her. And for some reason, I just knew that I had to have this session today. Again, listening to my intuition, that gut instinct. And before I did this session, though, I got a couple more messages for Boom. I asked him for my gifts to come in stronger so that my business would grow, so that I could stop flying with United, be home, so that I could get another doggy. And he also told me that he would be coming back much sooner than I ever imagined. Now, of course, I don't know what timing is. It doesn't matter. And so when I had my session this morning, she started with, Boomy is here. He is literally all around you. He's barking. He doesn't want your tears, which I knew. He wants me to be happy. So she said, and this is not a warning, but to warn you, because you may not be ready, that he is going to be coming back to you very, very soon. But she said, here's the catch. I don't know if it's a he, a she, or what it is, but you will know. And again, I said, well, that's going to be an issue because my husband said that we really can't get another one until I retire because of our jobs, which is true. Fluff needs our time, all of this stuff. But she's like, don't worry about it. God works it all out. So after this session is when the transformation occurred. I don't know how, except that it's up to Boomy, it's up to God, and this was timing. Normally, you guys, it would take me 1 to 3 years to get over losing an animal. I'm on day 5. I have reached a level of happiness, hey Denise, that I have never experienced in my life. The grief and the sadness is gone. That level of awareness and that perception is there that I never had before. It took Boomy dying for this to occur. Now, what I want to get into are the tools and the techniques that, number one, I couldn't have done this without my teacher. But what I share has to resonate with you. You have to work with the tools, you guys, that resonate with you and help you. But this is literally how I navigated myself through this. And of course, with the help of the angels and my beloved little Boomy, because without this, it wouldn't have happened. So I'm here to give you hope, to show you that it can happen instantly. You just never know, you guys, when you're going to get that breakthrough. I can tell you the deeper the suffering, the bigger the breakthrough. And that's when God can really get in there and work. And my teacher, Aratima, I have to give her all the credit for this, you guys. She's amazing. When I went through this 2 months ago, I had taken Boom in 6 different times to put him down. And I'm like, Aratima, how do I do this? How do I get through this? The key, you guys, is you have to allow the emotions to come up. You have to feel them. But you have to acknowledge them and you have to let them pass through. You cannot attach to them. If you attach to them, they're not going to leave. And you're going to have to go over these lessons over and over again. So how do you do that? You have to stay in your core, which means you're centered. You're very present. You're mindful. You're grounded into, as my teacher would say, the here and the now. It's not thinking. So what she taught me, because this is what I didn't know how to do at the time, you cry. You let these waves of grief, of sadness, of loneliness, of fear, whatever it is, you let it come up, but you don't think. You have to stop the mind. Now, that takes power. Not everybody can just stop the mind. And I'll give you some tools and techniques, but the number one way to really build that power up is, you guys, you have to meditate. Now, I will tell you my process. So I would cry. I would not think. And it was literally, you guys, a tug of war. I could feel that mind come in, how powerful the mind, guys, it is. And man, when we control it and get it to work for us, unbelievable. So Wednesday morning, got out of the shower after all these messages. I was able to look at Boomy's little leash and his collar. I could actually hold it. And I was in that place of stillness, that place of nothingness, that place of emptiness. The core is the place of no suffering. So I'm there, and the mind doesn't understand that place, you guys. It doesn't get it. It gets threatened. Its job is to think. So all of a sudden, I could feel it literally coming. It was almost like from the back of me with such effort. It's only been 3 days. Why aren't you crying? What is wrong with you? You've already forgotten him. Thought after thought after thought. And I caught it, and I was aware. You have to be aware. And then what it takes is power and strength, because you're being tugged. You're being pushed. You're being pulled. And I got mad. I got mad, and I said, I won't swear, but I said, screw you. I'm not listening to you. That is not who I am. And I went right back into my core. And this probably took a good 20 minutes. And like I said, that was Wednesday, and it was a good day. So after that, again, what I found myself doing was resisting. I would get that grief, and I'd want it to go. Hey, Pascal. I would want to push it away. I didn't want to feel it. But here's the deal. What we resist persists. What you think of is what you attract. And I'm like, I don't want this. I want this over with. But I had to go back into that core and just let these emotions come through. Hey, Sandy. And so when it came to meditating, I couldn't meditate, you guys, because every time I meditated, Boom was on my lap on a pillow, or he was by my side, and I could not sit down in that chair and meditate. So what do? You stay flippin' busy. Busy, busy, busy. Whatever you have to do to not think. So I went and did errands. I would clean the house. And the trick is to not let that mind come in, to go into that point of stillness. Now, there were times where I couldn't even do that. So my teacher got me hooked on mantras. I love them. They work on an energetic level, and my attitude was, if I can't stop my mind, at least I can do mantras and get my mind to work for me versus against me. So then I did all my mantras over and over and over again. By Tuesday night, I was able to sit down in my chair and meditate. I asked Boomy and the angels to take me deeper than I've ever been. With me, meditation is difficult because of this mind. I went to a level of such silence and stillness that I've never encountered that before. So I was back onto my meditation, and that's where you gain the power in order to have the energy to be able to make the changes in your life, you guys. But there's a whole bunch of other stuff that you can do. You have to raise your vibration. You have to focus on the positive, even though you're in the midst of this storm. So I'm going to show you my shirt. My husband and I went out. I said, I've got to wear bright colors. I have to wear high vibration. Now, when I close my eyes, all I see is pure pink. When I do my healings, I bring in the pink gray, and it's always that unconditional love. And I'm like, I need to raise my vibration. I need to cheer myself up. And then I got the coat, and you can't really see it because of the lighting in here, but it's literally got every color of the rainbow in it. I have worn this, I think 3 days now. I have lit candles all over the house. I have lit my incense. I have used my aromatherapy. I went out and bought, I've got if you could see my room, I don't want to pan around, but I've got orchids, I've got real plants, and I went out and bought 3 bouquets of fresh flowers to cheer me up because there's such high vibration. I forced myself to go out and walk in nature. Healing that comes from nature, I can't even begin to explain. I have a love for the sun. So I would go sit out in the front door with my pillow and lean up against my front door and just let that sun beat on me. Whatever I could do to raise my vibration. I did prayer. I talked to Bhumi. I talked to God. But I had to still the mind. It's the only way to not think. There's a whole bunch of other stuff that you can do, whether it's the prayer, whether it's you go do yoga, you exercise, you do breath work. I did a lot of breath work to help get the energy to move through. I did fire breath, which really helps with the emotional aspect. But then that stuff wasn't easy because I made myself sick because I cried so much and I couldn't breathe. So then I couldn't do the breathing. And again, this breakthrough did not come till this morning. But you guys, 5 days is all it took. You cannot escape the pain. You just can't. You have to go through the process. You have to go through the darkness in order to get to the light. But what I'm trying to show you is that miracles happen. And for me, it took 5 days when it normally would take me 3 years. And you have to be diligent. You have to have focus, power, and concentration in order to do this. And there were days, like I said, that mind, and you catch yourself. That's why you have to be very mindful and very aware. So, what I want to do, now that I've kind of shared my story, the different techniques, for those of you, seriously, that are in the midst of this, and I'm not just talking grief, you guys, this applies to anything. These rules, these techniques that my teacher has taught me, they work. I'm sitting here living proof of it. If you could have told me that 5 days into this, I am the happiest that I've ever been, that grief is gone. It is gone. The sadness is gone. Do I still miss him? Absolutely. To hold that little body and snuggle with him, I miss that. But the sadness is not there. The grief is not there. He's happy. I'm happy. But it is a process, and be gentle with yourselves. Don't judge yourselves. But what I want to do, this applies to any kind of suffering, anything. We're dealing with the grief here tonight. So what I want to do, energy is going. I mean, my heart's beating. I feel like you can see the face, how red my face is. That's the heat from the angels. They are literally surrounding us. So what I want to do is bring in some higher frequencies for you guys. We're going to bring in the frequencies of unconditional love. Now, when I bring these frequencies through, I work a lot with light. I see them as light rays. We're going to bring in peace and calmness, which is always a blue. And we're going to bring in those very high frequencies of joy and love. And you can just visualize them as you're standing under a waterfall of light that is entering through your crown. And the energies are literally pouring in, you guys. And I'm just going to watch this. And we're going to ask that they increase. Some of you who aren't as sensitive and can't feel the energy, we're just going to ask that the healing go deeper and deeper. And it's okay if you don't feel it. Not everybody feels anything. The energy's still working. I also want to go in and ask that the angels remove the blocks and the resistance to help ease the pain and the suffering. A layer of resistance coming up, you guys, and that's what they're working through right now. And when I see stuff clearing, I always see it as a smoke. It's a black smoke. And it's literally just releasing. It's like a cloud is just lifting off of everyone. So we're just going to let this continue to work. Again, easing the pain. I mean, the pain, the agony, the grief, whatever it is that you're suffering from, you guys. Oh, increasing that peace. Again, bringing in more joy and happiness. And really clearing the aura, you guys. Asking that this resistance be cleared literally on every level of your being. And we've got a golden white light, which is God's light, coming in through the crown right now. Oh, and the pink, the unconditional love, just wrapping you up in that love. You may feel a heat. You may feel a coolness. I'm experiencing heat, extreme heat right now, you guys. But everybody experiences the energy in a different way. Hey, Ellen, how are you? All right, we're just letting these frequencies run. And again, I'm going to ask that the healing go deeper, you guys, to really bring some relief to those that are in need. There we go. And again, you guys, let it come. Just let it come to the surface. Acknowledge it and let it go. And the only way you can do that is by not thinking. And what I would do every morning, I'm just letting these frequencies run, is I would get up and I would put a smile on my face no matter how hard it was. And there were moments when I couldn't even put the smile on my face, you guys. I will be honest with you. But I tried to be grateful. I tried to list, I had almost 13 amazing years with this animal. He brought me such joy and happiness. I was able to spend 2 months in Arizona with him and spend every minute of my day. So I would find those little moments of gratitude literally every day. And again, it's a timing process, you guys. The angels know what you need when you need it. And it was very specific that Boomy was done with his job, that he had to go. The only way that I could experience this new level was by him going. And again, the gift that he gave me. And my teacher kept saying to me when I was going through this, you have to thank him. And I'm like, but I don't get it. I understand, but I'm grieving. What am I thanking him for? I understand intellectually, you guys, I get it. I didn't have that deeper level of awareness. And that is what came today. And you guys, if that can happen in 5 days, seriously, it can happen at any time. You have to have the hope, you have to have the belief, and you have to have the trust. And how did I do that? By constantly talking to God, talking to my angels, using the tools and the techniques that my teacher taught me, and being diligent about it, not backing off, but also being easy on myself and knowing that when I couldn't meditate, it's okay. Stay busy. And when you can get back to it, you will get back to it. But to not beat yourself up. And that's what I was doing. And that's that awareness that you have to have. It's why you have to have that power and that strength to be able to control the mind. And meditation is the answer. So I'm just going to end up. I'm going to ask that these frequencies continue to run. You can listen to this, replay this, you guys, over and over again. The minute you experience some type of suffering, the energy is going, and it is just as strong in the replay as it is live. So I would keep high vibration music on. I would also put my teacher's MP3s on, and I would listen to them over and over and over again. So again, the name of the game is you have to raise your vibration. You have to go to that new level. And 2 days of this grieving, I made the intention of, I don't want to focus on the grief anymore. I'm choosing to be happy. I choose to be happy. And again, it's a process, but it took me only 5 days to do this. And I want you to have hope, you guys. You can do this. You can work your way through the grief. It doesn't have to last a lifetime. So I'm going to leave you. And I'm going to keep the frequencies running. And if you guys, any of you, are interested in continued work and help on an everyday basis, I do offer my remote healing the 1st through the 14th. It is Shelley's Angels. You can go to my website, Loving Energy Transformations. It will tell you all about Shelley's Angels. And if you'd like to work more in depth one-on-one with me, again, I'm available. And you guys, I sure hope that this helps you. This has been life-saving to me. And I'm here to support you. So I hope you have a wonderful evening. And thank you so much for listening. And hi, Lori. Again, Ruth, thank you. Thank you guys all. I hope this has helped. And remember, this will help with any form of suffering, not just grief. Have a wonderful evening, and I will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.